Hi everyone, in today's video I'll be going through all the bags that I sold in 2022. This year was a really good bag year for me. I feel like I bought quite a few bags and some of them were my absolute dream bags that I thought I could never have, so I feel very lucky and fortunate that I was able to acquire them. But it was also the first year in which I had more than 20 luxury designer handbags in my collection, and I could really feel it that it's a lot of handbags. So I feel like it was the perfect time for me to downsize my collection a little bit because some of these bags I really wasn't using at all anymore. So it was time to let them go. Okay, so the first bag that I sold was my Saint Laurent Nano Manhattan bag, and I had it in black with gold hardware. This is one of those bags that is practically perfect. It's a classic style, it's versatile, you can wear it as a crossbody, you can use it as a top handle bag, it's hard wearing, it matches absolutely everything, super easy to style. So why did I decide to sell it? And it's because of this lady over here. This is my black and rose gold Birkin 25, and after I got this bag I completely stopped using my Nano Manhattan. And even though they are two completely different bags for me, styling wise, the Nano Manhattan just didn't bring anything to my wardrobe anymore, because whenever I would have an outfit in mind that I'd love to wear with the Nano Manhattan, in the end I would still go for the Birkin. So I just slowly and steadily stopped using it. Other than that, the Nano Manhattan is an incredible bag, especially if you want something as timeless and classic as the Birkin, but don't want to spend a crazy amount of money on it. The next bag I sold was my Fendi Can You bag, and I remember how much I wanted this bag because before that bag they had released a very similar bag which was called Can I, and the main difference between these two bags was the clasp, because the Can I bag had this like red pyramid as a clasp, which I didn't really like, so I was hoping that they would release the same bag with a different clasp, and eventually they did. So I was immediately sold because the FF gold clasp was just perfect for that bag. There were mainly two reasons why I stopped using this bag, and the first one was that after I upgraded my iPhone to the Pro Max size, it became too small for me. So my bare essentials no longer fit in it. And on top of that, the phone was so big that it was always kind of stretching out the insides of the bag, which I didn't really like because I was always worried that the bag would become irreversibly damaged. The other thing that kind of bothered me about it was the way it sat on my body, because it would always kind of like bounce off of me. I don't know if it makes sense, but it would never like lay flat. It would always be lifted upwards. So I found that a little bit weird, which is not a big issue at all. The big issue, I think it was the space issue. These are not big quality issues that I'm talking about, but since I'm lucky enough to have alternatives that don't have these little things that bother me, it just made sense for me to let it go. The next bag I sold was my Balenciaga Bumbag slash waist bag slash fanny bag, whatever you like to call it. But the Bumbag trend hit us hard, and I was all here for it because nothing really beats the functionality of a bum bag. So I loved it. I bought it during the time when we were all living in our sweatpants and everything was about comfort. We were not really going anywhere and everyone was working from home. But now that we've come out of that era, I feel like I want to dress up a little bit more, so it didn't really fit into my wardrobe anymore. And another thing is that I feel like it was too trendy for me, and not the bum bag trend, but this particular bum bag. So the next time when the bum bag trend returns, because trust me, it will return eventually, And when it does, I would go for something a little bit more classic and timeless, something like a Chanel bum bag. I've always dreamt of a nice Chanel bum bag. So I think that that would be a little bit more my style and something that I would keep for forever. The next bag that I let go was my Louis Vuitton on the go tote in the GM size, and it was in the brown classic oversized monogram. Okay, so firstly, I am not a big bag person. I prefer small bags in my day-to-day life. But then, why did I buy it, right? Well, I bought it at a time when I was traveling a lot, so I was looking for a good travel tote. But the thing that I didn't realize when I purchased it was that I don't like very branded bags as travel totes, and this bag just screams Louis Vuitton. And there is nothing wrong with that. If I liked big bags, I would be using this bag around town all the time. But as a travel tote, I want something more understated. And I realized it only after I took those few trips. I kept it because I hoped that maybe I'll use it for errands or something, but I never did. It was just sitting in its box and I never reached for it. And now that I've sold it, I've never once had an occasion when I'm like, oh, I wish I still had my on-the-go tote, you know? So I still think that it's a very cool bag. It's a beautiful bag. I love looking at it, but it just didn't fit into my lifestyle. I am considering that maybe one day I could get it in one of the seasonal colorways, because even though they are still equally branded, they just seem more understated. They're colorful and branded, but in a way they seem more understated. It doesn't make any sense what I'm saying right now, but in my head it makes sense. So maybe one day this bag will once again be in my handbag collection. The next bag that I decided to let go was my Prada bucket bag in size small, in white leather with gold hardware. Absolutely gorgeous, right? Especially in the summer. It was such a cute bag, and it was also super durable, which is very important for white bags. But the thing with this bag was that it was the same situation as with the Fendi Can You bag. As I upgraded my phone, this bag became too small for me. And you know how bucket bags, they always, like the small ones, they look very small, but then they fit a bunch. With this bag, it was the exact opposite. It looked like it would fit everything that you need, but in reality, it didn't really fit that much. With the bigger iPhone Pro Max size, it could barely fit my essentials. And if I did put everything that I wanted to, it would kind of lean forward, which looked a little bit weird. I don't know, maybe it's because of the way the handle was placed, or I don't know what was the reason. I wish it didn't have that nasty division in the middle. I hate those divisions in small bags. They just make them so much more impractical. I don't know why do they do them, but anyway, I decided to replace it with a different bag, which I haven't yet purchased because I got a little bit distracted with other bags, but hopefully next summer. Okay, so the next bag that I let go is probably going to be a surprise. And it is the Bottega Veneta Prada Cassette in the most beautiful chocolate color with gold hardware. Now, this bag, it didn't let me sleep. I was obsessed with it. I had to have it. It just looked so cool and so unique and so special. And I still stand by everything I've said about it because it has that power to effortlessly transform every outfit. But, of course, there's always a but. I think that in the end, it was just too much of a trend bag for me. And just like with the Louis Vuitton on the go tote, I would much rather prefer it in like a unique limited edition variation, because after the butterflies for that bag died, I just felt like there was something missing. But at the same time, even though there were no logos, it just felt like a very loud bag. I don't know, I'm probably not making any sense once again, but I completely stopped using it. Instead, I feel like I would much rather have more Jodies. Obsessed with Jodies. I would love one in the teen size, in the small size. I just think they're so cool and much more timeless, much more my style. So yeah. And finally, the last bag that I sold this year was my Saint Laurent Nano Sac de Jour in the most perfect beige color. In theory, this is a perfect bag. It's durable, it's timeless, it's classic, it's versatile. I could go on and on because it's a great bag. The only thing that bothered me about it was the fact that it was just a little bit too open for me, but it wasn't too open at the same time, you know? It was manageable. So then why did I sell? And the truth is, I wasn't using it nearly as often as I thought I would. I used it a few times when I got it, but even then it was just like 1 or 2 times. Usually when I get a new bag, I have this excitement and I use it like 5, 6, 7 times until the excitement dies down a little bit. But with that bag, I got it, I used it once or twice, and then it just started sitting on my shelf collecting dust. And that's when I started thinking that maybe I don't like beige bags, because what other explanation is there? It's such a nice bag. Why wouldn't I use it? But that theory fell when I got my Bottega Veneta noodle bag. And this bag is also in a beautiful beige shade. And it's so much more impractical, but I've already used it at least 5 or 6 times. And that just doesn't make sense. So that was my sign that maybe the Nano Sac de Jour in that particular color just didn't work for my wardrobe, because there's just no other explanation. Okay guys, so that's it for my video today. Did you sell any bags this year? If you did, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm curious to hear which bags you sold and why. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and I hope that you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I do love talking about fashion. So let's stay in touch and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys, stay safe.